Of all of the gods of Ireland, of all of the Tuatha Dé Danann, there was one who couldn't be dispossessed of his role and his position within the tribe. Dagda Yíbagus Fáilte, hi, hello, and welcome. It's Jon O'Sullivan from the Irish Pagan School, and today I would like to take a minute to talk to you about Ogma, the champion of the Tuatha Dé Danann. But before we dive into that, I'd like to invite you to pick up some free resources from us here at the Irish Pagan School. Go to irishpagan.school/free. There's a year's worth of free content there for you to delve in, dive in, and explore an authentic connection to Ireland. So what do I mean about his position and his role within the Tuatha? Ogma was declared the champion amongst the Tuatha Dé Danann. Now, this is a very specific position within the tribe, within the culture and the society, and it's a very interesting one about how it is portrayed within our ancient mythology and our ancient stories. So when the Tuatha Dé Danann complete their conquest, well, it's not really a conquest. When they actually overcome the Fir Bolg, they take ownership of Ireland, and then, they're kind of without a king at that point, because during the first battle of Moytura, Nuada comes up against Shrang, the champion of the Fir Bolg, and loses his hand, which leads to him being blemished, which means he's not like fully complete in physicality, so he's not fit to be king anymore because of the wounding placed on him. And so he gets a silver prosthesis created for him, but that leaves a power vacuum at the top echelons of the society, and that power vacuum is filled by someone called Bress. Bress, who is half Fomorian, half Tuatha Dé Danann. And so the belief maybe is that by Bress going into power in this way, that there should be some allowances or some agreement or some kind of safety really for the Tuatha Dé Danann in Ireland against their ancestral enemies, the Fomorians. Now, Bress also, when we look at his ascension and his kind of rise to power, he's said to be kind of elected or spoken for by the women of Ireland specifically, and because he was so beautiful. In that, Bress was said to be so beautiful that everything would be compared to his beauty, and something that was the most beautiful of its type would be referred to as a Bress. So we have this very interesting person stepping into the rule of Ireland in the aftermath of this conflict with the Fir Bolg, and it doesn't go well. Sorry, folks, spoilers for this ancient mythological story, but Bress begins to favour his Fomorian ancestry to the detriment of the Tuatha Dé Danann people. And so all of the people in Ireland, all of the Tuatha Dé Danann in Ireland are placed under heavy taxation, which is then sent to the Fomorians by Bress. And then Bress himself, within his hall, deposed everyone, dispossessed everyone of their position, of their authority, and replaced them with Fomorians that he kind of surrounded himself with. So much so that even the Dagda, the good god of the Tuatha Dé Danann himself, is set to digging the trenches or the securities or the earthworks of Rathbresh in Tara. So, of all of that, with this shift in power, there was one individual who could not be gotten rid of. There was one person in Tara always that no Fomorian could rival. Bress could not find his equal. Bress could find no way to overcome him and to replace him, and that was Ogma. Ogma, said to be the champion of the Tuatha Dé Danann, retained his position as champion, and he was the only Tuatha Dé Danann in the court of Bress because of his physicality. He was said to be the strongest of the Tuatha Dé Danann physically, but also he was a warrior. He's, later on when we get to the second battle of Moytura, he himself promises to slay kings of the Fomorian invaders as well as their bodyguards, which he definitely does. But he's also a scholar. He's not just a brute of physicality, he's also an intellect. So much so that Ogma, just to prove and to show his own intellect, creates the first written script or language in Ireland, and that still bears his name today. It's called Ogham. And so the creation of Ogham, the creation of the script, was done specifically just because he could, to show his expertise and to show his knowledge. The script itself was said to be preserved against lay people, so that it would be preserved for the intellectuals of the society. And at that point, there was no written script in Ireland at all. And the structure of this language was in order to capture the sounds of the of the spoken Irish language, and to try and transfer them into a physical form. Interestingly enough, the story of the creation of Ogham talks about the mother and father of Ogham being the hand of Ogham and the hand of Ogma and the knife of Ogma, but then also that they are a combination of sound and matter. So the carving, the creation of the Ogham itself, the Ogham language, is carving sound into a material form, which is a fantastic and beautiful way to put it. Um, we know the first Ogham that was carved. In fact, the first one was carved was the a letter B, Beth, which was then carved on birchwood. Now, not all Ogham has to be associated with wood, but this one was carved on birchwood 7 times to protect Lu's wife from being taken by the people of the She or the other world. So it shows like Ogma's position within the society, that of all of the dispossessed Tuatha Dé Danann, he was the one who could not be gotten rid of. He was the one who could not be kind of shaken from his place. And then when Bress is deposed, and Nuada is restored physically, which allows him to be restored to the kingship, Ogma still retains his place as champion. So much so that when Lu arrives into Tara, he manages to make it past the gatekeepers. The first person he meets as he steps across the threshold into the banqueting hall is Ogma. It's his right and his position to challenge them there at that point of crossing over. And it's a challenge of strength. And so Ogma picks up a boulder from the fire pit, which was said to require 20 oxen to move, and he hurls it through the wall of Tara, like, tearing out a chunk of the wall and sending the boulder outside. Not to be beaten by that, Lu goes out, picks up the boulder, throws it back through the same hole, but then picks up the broken wood from the hole and actually fixes the wall of Tara, therefore overcoming Oma in the feat, not just of strength, but also of craft. So Oma is a really fantastic character for the Tuatha Dé Danann. He's a very interesting one, and again, he was one who could not be dispossessed. He was and is still known for his physicality, yes, for his protective nature, but then also for that intellect, being a warrior scholar and being able to provide that linguistic structure, which now is on the very bones of Ireland. Right now, there are many, many places around the country where you can drive and see Ogham stones. And so all of the Ogham stones generally kind of covered territorial markers, may have been recognitions of families or bloodlines, may have been grave markers, but as a script and as a language, it's very, very fascinating that we trace that back to this creative figure, not just scholastically, not just as a scholar, but also as a physical warrior and a presence within his tribe. So I teach a class about Alma in the Irish Pagan School. All you gotta do is pop over to the Irish Pagan School and search for Alma. Also, there's other classes about meeting the gods of the Tuatha Dé Danann and exploring more information around all of these deities. So please feel free to do that. But if you can't pay for a class, pop over irishpagan.school /free. There's a whole lot of free content there as well. Listen, thank you very much for joining me for this talk on Oma. Take care of yourself, and until next time, Slán. Goodbye.